Welcome to Parent Connect Session 5. I'm Crystal Overfelt, the Early Head Start Mental Health and Wellness Coordinator, and I'll be sharing with you on the skill of empathy. We'll be focusing on 3 points that will help us to help our children manage big emotions. First is the power of acceptance. The moment is as it is. The second is the skill of empathy, helping children to manage their emotions. And lastly, the D.N.A formula, the bridge from problem to solution. Let's start with the power we must possess in order to help others. Think with me and let's do a little self-reflection. What do I do when my feelings whenever things are not the way that I wish for them to be? Chances are I get frustrated or upset. I feel mad and explode, or feel sad and withdraw. Chances are I will expend a lot of emotional energy because things are not how I think they should be, as I want them, or going the way that I had hoped. Acceptance that things are as they are and the moment is as it is the first step to moving out of upset to actually being able to deal with the disappointment or upset and move forward to solve the problem. I have to accept the moment as it is now. There is a common misconception equating acceptance with passivity or settling. We can accept the moment and still have a preference for a different way. Acceptance is the acknowledging of what is without getting wrapped up in what should be. It's not that your child should be able to deal with the stuck zipper. Your child is crying in frustration. Accept that he is crying in frustration, then you can help him manage that frustration and teach him how to get the zipper unstuck and get back to life. And it's not that you should be able to leave the room for 5 minutes without a screaming match starting up. The kids are arguing over the ball. Accept that the kids are arguing over the ball. Then you can help them to breathe, to calm down, and coach them on how to take turns. Because we know it takes 2,000 times in context to learn a new skill. It's not that your toddler should be able to lie down for a nap without throwing a fit in resistance. But the truth is, your toddler is resisting sleep. Accept that he's frustrated that he can't keep playing, and then you'll be able to help him manage the frustration by teaching him to soothe with a I love ritual and breathing to calm down. Realize this important truth. All upset stems from resistance. Resistance keeps us stuck in an emotional state and eats up a whole lot of energy. When we accept the moment as it is, we can use all of that energy to manage our feelings and move from the problem to the solution. And here's a little parent tip for you to think about. Until we feel our feelings, we will not allow children to feel theirs. Realize that feelings are not the enemy. They are a part of life, and it's okay to feel them. Here's a mindfulness tip you might try for yourself today. Practice feeling your feelings. Recognize that feelings are like weather. Some days are sunny, others are cloudy, and some bring storms. Weather comes and goes. Resisting a rainy day is silly. Use the power of acceptance for yourself. The moment is as it is, and relax. Feel your internal weather patterns come and go. Then we're willing to accept where we are what we are feeling. We can move past our feelings and find solutions. This is true with our children as well. And that brings us to the skill of empathy. The skill of empathy is the key to helping children learn to manage their emotions. Empathy requires us to listen to children's feelings and thoughts without the need to make them change. Our typical reaction to young children's upset is often, "You're fine," or "It's okay," or whatever it takes to distract them with a phone, with a toy, with a snack. Unfortunately, none of that does anything to help children actually manage their feelings. So, how do I help my child to handle disappointment, frustration, or upset? First, remember that the goal must be to help them deal with the emotion, not to happy them up. We can only teach children to manage their emotion when we first use the power of acceptance and then the skill of empathy. Like acceptance, empathy is also commonly misunderstood. We tend to think empathy means taking on the pain of others as our own, but that is not the heart of true empathy. So, what is empathy then? Mature empathy is the heart of emotional intelligence. It is about understanding and accepting others' perspectives, not taking their pain on as our own. Now, immature empathy often blocks others from being able to deal with their feelings, their problems, or their pain. Here are some examples of approaches that end up being harmful rather than helpful. One would be gushing with sympathy. That encourages others to get caught in their feelings. We think that it shows that we care, but it really helps them just stay stuck in their feelings. Another one would be giving unsolicited advice. It seeks to solve the problem without managing feelings. The pitfall here is that unattended feelings will come back again and again and again. Another thing that we often use is to offer humor. That distracts instead of actually engaging emotionally. It's a defense against healing connections. Sometimes we share similar experiences from our own life, and that simply removes people from their own experiences and feelings and puts the focus on us. And lastly, another thing that we do is saying everything will be fine. And what we're telling people then is that they shouldn't feel like they do. And it also risks being false since we really don't know what the future holds, and it could be untrue. We really don't know. Do you recognize any of those strategies? Maybe you received some of them from your parent, or maybe there are types that you tend to offer to your children or other adults. Recognizing that none of these actually help the child learn to handle their emotions helps us to have a clearer picture of true empathy. Empathy isn't joining in the pain. It's providing support by seeing the upset person as capable of handling the situation and the emotions involved. Empathy integrates the brain for perspective taking, personal responsibility, and self-control. One thing empathy doesn't do is it doesn't change the limits that we set for our children's behavior, but it does help children become better able to accept the limits that we set. And that brings us to the D.N.A formula. This is the bridge from the problem to the solution. This process provides us with a concrete formula for providing empathy in order to help children manage their emotions. It helps children move from upset to problem solving, and it helps us to teach instead of punish. Remember the brain states, the D.N.A. process helps to build a bridge for children move from the survival state through emotions to their executive state, where learning can take place and problems can be solved. Let's break it down into 3 steps. D stands for describe. Describe the child's actions. N stands for name. Name the child's feelings. And A stands for acknowledge. Acknowledge what the child is actually wanting or hoping. Let's take a closer look at each one. D is for describe. Describe the child's actions. If the child is acting out a behavior, look at it and notice it out loud. Be a verbal mirror and describe their action. Your face looks like this. Like this gets the child to look at you. And when they do, you can use the power of mirror neurons and the star breath, which can cut their stress response in half, because you are responding by downloading calm into the situation rather than escalating it with your own upset. Remember our first session about composure? This step helps children to move out of their survival state where they are reacting out of instinct or impulses. We're letting the child know, I see you. Next, N. Name what you think your child is feeling. If you're wrong, chances are they'll let you know. The words you want to say, you seem sad, you seem mad, you seem scared. You are letting the child know, I feel you. And there's a name for that big upset you're feeling. Because if we name it, we can tame it. Being understood gives us the support we need to move out of our emotional state to the executive state where we can actually solve the problem that is causing our upset. Unless we get there, we stay stuck in negative reactions and emotions and never reach our goals. Remember, we must feel safe and connected to cross the bridge to our thinking brain. Lastly, A. Acknowledge what the child is actually wanting or hoping. We would say, you were hoping that you could stay at the park longer, or you wanted the ball. Once we acknowledge the child's desire, we can then teach the appropriate skill or come up with a solution. Because they are now in their thinking brain rather than stuck in their emotions, they are more ready to learn and problem solve. Let's try an example. Describe the behavior or action. Say what you see. Your face is going like this, and make that face. When they look, star breathe. Next, name the child's feeling. You seem sad. And then acknowledge the child's desire. You wanted to stay in the bathtub longer. The D.N.A. process helps children move from an emotional state to a calm one, so that they are more likely to be willing to solve the problem. The next step would be to teach a new skill or encourage problem solving. You would reaffirm the limit about bath time and encourage the child by saying, you can handle this. Let's do one more example. Describe. Your face is going like this, and make the face. Name. You seem angry. Acknowledge. You wanted a turn and didn't know how to ask. And then follow that up by teaching the skill. When you want a turn, tap him on his shoulder and say, can I have a turn? Accurately identifying feelings is a key component of empathy. The mini poster on your parent handout shows 8 common feelings. When using the D.N.A. process with children, we must be certain to use a feeling word for the name component. Once we identify our feelings, we can begin to manage them. Also in our classroom, we use the We Care Center. Like the DNA process, it helps us to encourage compassion, emotional regulation, and empathy. The We Care Center we use in the classroom translates easy to home use. The We Care Center is a basket with comforting items, a stuffed animal, a blanket, a photograph of loved ones. Family members can offer these items to each other when they're upset. They are a comfort that must be accompanied by our loving presence. This is a concrete way to help children to experience empathy for themselves and soon becomes a way for them to offer empathy to others. One thing you could put into your We Care kit would be the How Do You Feel mini poster that is on your parent handout to help children learn the names of the different feelings they experience. Also on your parent handout, you'll find a new love ritual and breathing technique that will be fun for springtime. Here's the bunny love ritual and bunny breathing. Look for the videos for both on your center Facebook page. The parent handout has information on the DNA process as well as developmental information on empathy. Lastly, one other resource that we're sending your way is a Wish Well board that you can use with your family. Wish Well offers children and adults a way to support others and calm themselves. The Wish Well board is a visual way to aid children in wishing others well. Wishing well allows children to help others when there's no physically tangible way to offer help. To wish well, you first put your hands over your heart. Second, you take a deep breath in. Then you pause and picture something precious in your mind. And fourth, you breathe out while opening your arms and sending those precious, loving thoughts out to the other person you are wishing well. The Wish Well board is used for the Wish Well ritual. When you want to wish someone well, you place their picture or name inside the heart of your Wish Well board. You can use this resource to create your own Wish Well board with a magnet cookie sheet and magnets, or a foam board and Velcro. If you don't have these materials and aren't able to go to the store, you can simply place names or pictures of family members inside the provided heart. It's a great tool for learning and teaching the skill of empathy. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, we wish you well.